3 o'clock, so I guess it is time to start. This is Sue the Soggy Stamper. I'm coming to you from Friday afternoon. I'm Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in northwestern Washington State. And I'm really excited to show you this Christmas card that I have made using the October paper pumpkin kit, but it also can be made using the, just a sec. The October paper pumpkin kit was designed to coordinate with the peaceful, come on, I can't pull up the name right yet. Peaceful Cabin Suite, and this beautiful designer series paper, and they come very close together. So anyhow, before I do that though, I want to let you know, last week I was not able to do Facebook Live because I was on stage at home. It's the annual Stampin' Up! Or I guess actually, yeah, it's just once a year. It used to be convention, and due to COVID, we couldn't meet in person. So this year it is at home, and it was on Friday and Saturday. And we had the opportunity to make cards using a new stamp set in the new catalog called Heart and Home. And it's very, very similar to this set that I already have, that is the hand-penned petals stamp set. So I created these cards using supplies I already had at home, but using the design that they had. So these were the 3 cards that we created together. It was a lot of fun. And got to see lots of interesting ways to use the new products. We then were able to pre-order a special pre-order. Demonstrators can start pre-ordering from the new catalog on December 1st. But we got, since we went to the online at home, we got to purchase in advance some selected products. And one of the sets, the thing that I ordered was the tulip set. Okay, tulip set. And where did my tulip set go? I had it right here. Of course, you know how that goes. You have it right on hand? Yep, here it is. This Daffodil Daydream. Tulip, oh, I'm so confused. Daffodil Daydream set. I love daffodils. I also love tulips. And there is an awesome tulip set in the new catalog for this spring. Anyway, this is the set that I bought. And just look at all the dies that come with it. So you can cut out the stamped image, both stamped images. There's the die for both of those. There's a butterfly die for cutting out the butterfly. There are stem dies, and then there are layers that you can add different colors with the cardstock as you build the daffodils. So that was pretty cool. And what's really cool is in the celebration, you get free, one of the free choices is the Daffodil Fields, Daffodil Afternoon designer series paper that coordinates with it. So here's one of the patterns, and there's the back with the little green hearts on it. Here's another one. This is one of my favorite kinds of daffodils, with the kind of peachy color and the darker rim around the cup. And the back of that's a beautiful peach color pale papaya, I should say, polka dot background, nice neutral one. Here is one with daffodils and other flowers all mixed together. This one is, so half of it is this daffodil border, and the same thing is true on the other side. So all you have to do is cut it in half and then trim it down just a little bit because it's 12 inches and you want to have 5.5. So you trim it down just a little bit and you have an instant card front. You can stamp your greeting up there and put a bow on and you are done. The back of that is the pale papaya and polished pink, I believe. Here's another one with daffodils and daisies and lots of greenery. The back of that is kind of a mosaic type thing. And the colors are, I like to write them in bigger so that if the light's not real good, I don't have to read the little tiny print. The colors are basic black, crushed curry, daffodil delight, evening evergreen, flirty flamingo, mint macaron, mossy meadow, pale papaya, pear pizzazz, and very vanilla. Gives you lots of nice colors. And then this one has the daffodils on the crushed curry background, and then the other side is black with little crosses on it. So that is available in the Celebration catalog for a $50 purchase. I can't show you the insides of the catalogs, but I can certainly show you what they look like. So we included in our order was a brochure for recruiting new demonstrators. And if you would like to be able to get in on this pre-ordering in December and in June when the new catalogs come out, talk to me about joining. I have been a demonstrator for 20 years and I cannot imagine not being a demonstrator. I love teaching other people how to do stamping and share my joy of stamping with them. This is the Celebration catalog, nice and cheery. And this is the mini catalog, and this has a windmill. And this windmill, the vane part actually turns. This is a very awesome stamp set, and actual bundle with dies and stamp set. So that's the catalog. And then we had Prize Patrol. Part of convention and part of the excitement is Prize Patrol. And if you're in person, you get a number or you get a color when you register. And then they have a drawing, and it might come up Purple Passion. And if you have that color, then you win the prize for that time. And then they'll have another prize, and it'll be Passion Pink. And if that's your color, then you get the prize. This year, they did it differently because we didn't have, so they had it so everybody got prizes. These are some brushed brass butterflies that are part of the Heart and Home suite. Very pretty little butterflies. They gave that to everybody. And they gave everybody this amazing silhouettes stamp set. And then we got some frayed white, I call it frayed ribbon. And I thought it was going to be frayed on the edges, but actually, well, maybe it is. Biggest challenge I have is getting the plastic off. I wish they had a tab on it, like a zip tab or something, so that, because I hate getting in here with my scissors and then risking cutting the ribbon. There, that worked. So the Christmas catalog has some frayed red, the fall one, and this is the frayed white. And the thing that's beautiful about this is, with alcohol blends, or you could, with re-inkers, you could dye this any color you want. But you can you see, let me get something darker as background. Can you see the little frayed edges to it? And it's really soft. I thought it might be stiff, but it will make a really nice bow. Let's see what it will look like as a bow. It's kind of wide. It is 3/4 inch wide, so I'm not sure how my bow will turn out. I'm inclined to think it would be better as an overhand knot. Well, no, look at that. That is a beautiful bow. Put a bow like that on your card and that you wouldn't have to have much of anything else. All right, so those were our prizes from the On Stage at Home. Another thing I want to show you before we get into the card is I have learned to make this wonderful little box. It comes in different sizes. You can make different sizes of it. And it's got a lid on it, and it's closed. But look what happens when you open it up. It's a little tight fitting, so it takes a little bit of doing to get it to open up. But look at that. It opens up that way. It's a self-closing box. So you can put your things down in there, and then this is what it looks like from the side. And then you just push the lid down, and it's closed. Isn't that cool? I have another design for a self-closing box also. And I'm going to have a class with teaching how to make this one and how to make the other one, I believe. I'll be sending out information about those classes. And it will be an online class, so you don't have to live locally to be able to make it. I think I'll probably do it by Zoom so that people can ask questions and see each other. But I will let you know more about it. Okay, so anyway, now on to the card. The paper pumpkin kit had cards that were like this, and it was the front and the back of the card. It was all the same print. And it's such a beautiful print and so much like the print that's in this fall catalog that I cut the cards in half. So I made a couple cards that were with the print, and then I used parts of the backs to make this card. So this is a double box card. You can see the two boxes, and it folds up like that for shipping, so it fits inside a standard medium-sized envelope. I used, the products that I used are the stamp set, Christmas to Remember, for the greeting. And then, also on the back, love and joy come to you and may it last the whole year through. And that also comes from Christmas to Remember. And then I cut out this label using the long skinny die that is part of the seasonal labels die set. This is my favorite by far. I use the labels quite a bit. I haven't used the dies for the leaves and things quite as much, but I use the labels all the time. Now you'll notice that this is longer than the tag. See? So what I did was I cut out the tag with the printing close to the end with the amount of space I wanted, cut it out, and then I laid the die, took the tag out, and then I laid the die down again so that I cut it off with the other end. So, and when you lay it down, if you're careful, you can feel when the die gets into the place where it had cut on the other end. So that's how I got this label. And you might be wondering, where did the birds come from? There are several die sets that have the birds. But I happened to use this beautiful trees dies, and I used these two little birds and cut them out of real red cardstock to put on my cards. Okay, so then down to the nitty-gritty part. Piece of cardstock, real red cardstock, that is 10.5 by 4.25, and a piece of cardstock that is 5 3/4 by 3.25 wide. I have a piece of silver foil that is 3 3/4 by 3 inches, 3 3/4 by 3 inches. And going to layer on top of that a piece from the card, from the paper pumpkin, that is 3.5 by 2 3/4 to layer there. Then for the back part here, this is 5 1/4 by 4 to put in the back, and then I have two pieces, one here and one on the bottom, that are the one for this level is 5 1/4 by 4, and then, oh no, that's the big one here, 1 3/4 by 4, and then the other one is 1 inch by 4. Scrap for the label, and then on the back a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of whisper white or basic white for it, and then you can write back here. You can sign it and grade it there. What I like about this card is it stands up by itself, so they can set it on a counter or on their mantle. They don't have to worry about taping it, and it can stand there. I think this would be a cute design if you put a miniature calendar down here, or put the calendar up here and stamp something down below here, and it could sit on their desk for the duration of the year. Okay, so now you've got the pieces, and let's do some scoring. Get my score. There it is. Get my trimmer, paper trimmer. So the main cardstock, back, sorry about that noise. The long one is scored at 1/2 inch. I'm going to do it here on this side because it's easier to measure. I like that it's got up to 1.5 inches on this side, so when you're doing the narrower pieces, you can just do that. And then, so that was that. And then 1 3/4. I have cheat sheet here, I don't remember this. So I'm looking over to the side. 1 3/4, 3 3/4, and 5 inches. Okay, and then the other piece is scored at 1/2. I'll do it this way this time. And at 1 3/4. Okay, so we're going to make mountain folds on each of these pieces and burnish the fold with a bone folder. And I have one around here someplace. There we go. If you're wondering why my bone folder is so yucky, I was trying to re-ink one of my ink pads, and I thought, oh, I'll use the bone folder, not realizing, because it was a nice smooth surface, not realizing that the ink was going to soak through the finish and stain it. Okay, so that's the top box, and this is the bottom box. Again, well, this time I'm making valley folds. But if I turn my paper over like this, they would be mountain folds. Okay, next, so the box is going to be made like this. See, it's going to fold up like that. And then this piece goes on top like that. So next thing to do is to add our designer series paper. This designer series paper is the Heartfelt Hugs, I believe it's called, was from last year and was brought forward to this year. Okay, then we're going to leave this section blank because that's going to be there. And then we're going to put this one here. I was about to say, I think I've learned the secret of this stamp and seal. Don't press down too hard on it. And it seems to work better. Okay, now since it's going to be folding and unfolding a lot, I'm going to put some tear and tape along this fold here. You could use multi-purpose liquid glue for it. Could use Stamp and Seal Plus, which is a super strong adhesive, but I just like to use this. But I'm not going to fold it up. Yeah, I am going to go ahead and fold it now. Come on. Take your pick, supposed to make it easy to get that paper backing off. There we go. And then I'm going to fold both of these levels in like that, see? Fold it in and then fold it up like this. Press it well. And there you have box number 1. Okay, let's go on to the next box. This is what we're going to decorate. So I have the silver foil. I'm going to put it on here. And you can you see the silver snowflakes in this paper? I think that is so cool. Now, since this has direction to it, pattern, I have to be sure that I have it put on the right direction. The way this is going to fit is like this. So I want my trees to go up like that. If you have a multi-directional piece of designer series paper, either way would go well. Let me see if I can get this a little more even. There we go. And again, tear and seal, tear and tape, sorry. Right here. This is not a brand new type of fancy fold. It was just new to me. There are so many fancy folds that it's hard to keep up with them all sometimes. So I'm going to fold this flat like I did the other one. And I'm going to position it so that the top is just right like that and even. Press it down well. And, oh, guess what? I forgot to put tear and tape on the bottom. So I put tear and tape on the other side of the fold there. Now I'm going to be putting tear and tape down here. Surprised me when it didn't stick. So you would have tear and tape on the outside there and on the back side here. Now flatten this down, get the whisper behind, and then press it down. Now we have our double box. And depending on how hard you have to kind of adjust a little bit, but it stands up by itself. And I have pre-stamped and cut out the label. I'm going to put that on just with a little bit of stamp and seal. Here on the top. This is the greeting. And I have to embellish it a little bit. I love the red crystals. The red rhinestone. You get quite a few in a package, and they're a really nice size. I find that I use the small sizes of the rhinestones much more than I do the bigger ones. So there's a little bit of bling. Now we have to add our birdies. I love cardinals. Wish that we lived where there were cardinals, but here in the Pacific Northwest there aren't any. And I'm going to use, could use glue dots, but this paper pumpkin kits give you so many glue dots in the kits, and they're smaller than our regular glue dots, so they work very nicely with small items. I like them for putting bows on because oftentimes the knot of the bow is, the glue dot is bigger than the knot, and so you have to kind of squish the glue dot so that it doesn't get stickiness where you don't want it. For these little ones, the take your pick tool is essential for getting that paper off. So I think I'll have a red bird down here. dies, actually, the die I was using actually has them so they come the opposite direction, which is nice. Come on, up. There you go. And I'll put this one up here. There, they're talking to each other. So this is our card front. Now the back is blah, so we're going to fix that by, oh, just lost a bird. Where did he fly to? Oh, there he is. Have a piece of white cardstock around here someplace. Here it is. And I want to stamp my greeting. Love and joy. Or I could say, friends like you make this season special. But I think I'm going to use the love and joy. I use the other stamp a lot, but I think I'm going to use the love and joy this time. Little trick that I do with these cling mount stamps is that when I take them apart and put the indexes on them, I keep the paper liner and slide it in between the outside of the box under the label holder thing and slide it in there so that I know that a stamp is missing, but I can still look through and see which stamp it is, you know, to read what the stamp thinks. Kind of a little trick that I developed. I used to save the rubber and put that in there, but it got kind of awkward getting the stamps in and out of the rubber. So I developed that way of doing it. There you go. Love and joy come to you, and may it last the whole year. Let that dry a minute. Put a couple of birds on while that's drying. In the corner down here, I oftentimes neglect to decorate the back, the inside of the card. But it makes a nice extra touch. Also makes a nice touch if you decorate the envelope too. But I'm doing good to get them into an envelope and a stamp on it and get them mailed, so I don't worry about decorating the envelopes. Come on. Now that should have dried enough. I think my ink pad is quite juicy because I stamped something and then went over to die cut it almost immediately and ended up smearing the ink, which was very frustrating. Okay, so we'll put this on the back. And I guess to sign it, I would put my stamps thing there. Nah, that'd be kind of a hard thing to do. Perhaps I would put the Created by Sue right up there on the top. So there you have this double box card. Stands like, stands like that, great. And you could make it horizontal. That would be very attractive too, to make a horizontal design to it. I would do it this way, I think. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is Sue, the Soggy Stamper, and I'll have this video up on my YouTube channel tonight. And I will also post in a blog post the dimensions that I used, and have a link, or actually embed the video into the blog post so people can watch it. So if you like this, come back and see me again next Friday at 3 o'clock. I will be here, even though it's Thanksgiving. I have the day off, and I'm not going to go visit anybody. We're going for Thanksgiving Day down to Seattle to our daughter's place for dinner, but that's fairly close, and we're going to be back before dark. If you have any questions, my email is sue@soggystamper.com, and my blog is soggystamper.com. Notice I keep everything the same, except for my online store. I started that before I started blogging, and so the name is different. It's creationsbysue.stampinup.net. And if you need any of the supplies, look me up over there. I would appreciate your business. I also am on, believe it or not, TikTok. Discovering that is a very fascinating place. It is also a really a big time hole, rabbit hole, because you can spend a lot of time looking at videos on there. Anyway, it's at Soggy Stamper, and I show tips and things like that, and probably have this show how to make this card up there as well. So thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful weekend and a great Thanksgiving. See you later. Bye-bye.